I want to look at the liquid property in the physics property here, physics property and the fluid. Now, the easiest way to get that, if you want a quick one, is just to press your mesh, and then you go to objects, and then you go to quick effects, and then you do quick liquid, and then it generates something like a bounding box around it, and then you when you play it, you see that there's fluid coming out of it. I mean, this bounding box can be adjusted. If you go to something like, if you go to G to grab it, you can move it a bit, and you can also, maybe, let's say if you want to scale it, you go to S and you can scale it, or if you are new, moving is here and you can scale using this. Now if you can then let's go back again, and then I play it again. You see it's the same more or less. Now one thing is that what are all these things that are here? I'm going to tell you what they are. Now if you click this one here, this is your, it's called the domain. Now let's see here. What it did was that it chose fluid, and then the type, it chose domain. Domain means that this is where the fluid will be, or this represents the fluid more or less. You see why I'm saying that, because if I change these particles here to mesh, let's change it to mesh, and then I would just want to change the frame end time, so we don't waste time playing everything. Oh, sorry, to just 50. So if I've changed it to 50 now, I would, and you can always save your whatever you want to do. If it is going to be cached, if you do just replay, it will just be cached each time, and then it will recalculate. Let me change this here as well to 50, and now we go and I bring this here, and then we play it again. You see it, I changed it to mesh, and it looks different than the liquid. So you can also, if you want to, after everything, maybe you are satisfied with whatever you've done, you can always come here and say all, and then when you go to all, whatever changes you do here, like updating things here, after, you can just say bake all, and then you see that is baking here. Now what is the inner this one here? What is it? What was done to it? It's also fluid, and then here the default, they chose flow for the quick one. Flow because the water will be flowing down. If the domain is the big thing, is this one here, and this is the flow, and the flow type you chose liquid, and then the flow behavior they chose geometry. You can change it to geometry, you can change it to inflow, you can change it to flow out. Now geometry is what we have now. If we change to inflow, and let's go and maybe bake it, a free all is to empty everything, and then we bake again. Let's see what happens. Now you see that it will just flow. It's not like the other one was a bit, the flow is like continuous more or less. Now so this, if you can look at it as this one here is something like a faucet or the source or the tap, and this is the water that is coming out. Now so with this known, we can ourselves create our own thing with with objects, and then we can choose our whatever you want as your domain. I've set up something here. If you look at it here, I set it up like this. What I've done is that, what have I done? I have created a cube where I removed the top, and then I've put another cube in a one which has a shorter z coordinates, and then our smaller z coordinates, and I have a sphere, UV sphere here. I have a plane, and I have a torus here, and my intent is to use this as a domain and then use these as flows. And this one, I want it to be something like an obstacle, so it's not going to flow. I want this to flow on it. Now I will start with the sphere here. I go to fluid, and I want it to be a flow. So I choose flow, and I choose liquid because I want it to be liquid, and here I want it to be inflow. So I'm good with this now. Now if I come here, this one, this is a plane, and the plane, we have to be careful. You have to, let's go to fluid still. I would still choose this as flow, and I go here and choose liquid, but and this is the geometry as well. I'll just do inflow. Now one thing is, because this is a plane, you have to come here, flow source, and say it's a plane. Other than that, it won't work. Now I'll choose my torus, and what do I also want it to be? I want it also to be a fluid. I want it to be an effector. That means that I want it to just stay as it is, and it's acting like a collision, so there's nothing there. It's not a plane, so I won't choose its planar. Now I'll choose my inner box. I'll choose my inner box and make it a fluid as well, but this I would just make it a flow, but I would leave it as geometry. I don't want it to just be flowing. Now this is not a plane as well, so it's not planar, so I leave it as it is. Now I'm going to do this as the domain. I hope it works, because I did not try it. I just set this up, because sometimes depending on the size, if these things are too small, that doesn't work well. So you could adjust it in case you are facing some problems with that. Now I go to fluid. This is the domain, and then with the domain I will choose liquid, and with that done, I think I want it to be a mesh so we can see it, and I'm going to change this so that I will choose all, so that I want to save it somewhere there. Okay, now I'm going to bake everything. Did I change? Oh yes, I did. So I bring this, it's not necessary actually, but I would want to change this to 50, so this also doesn't go too far, because we don't have time. And then I do bake. So let's see, it's baking. Okay, so now let's see what's happened. We play, and you see everything is going on. They are all floating up and down here and there. Now I just use these colors for you to be able to see, but if I want to render this, maybe I will try to put let's go to render. If you see, when I go to render, of course this has color, but this has no color. I put the color just for you guys to be able to see what is happening, but I would maybe light this thing up a bit for you to see. So I'm going to put I go to the world corner. Of course, I could just come here and then remove the scene world so that it's not using the background, so it uses this also to light it up. But I will just show you one thing and then I'm gone. That is, you can also use the world. So if I say use the scene world, then I go to my world property and then I can choose come here, and then I'm going to use a HDRI to light the place. HDRI, you can get some from HDRI Haven, which is free to use on your YouTube channel or whatever. And then we need environment texture, because environment texture is what HDRI takes. Now I go and open one that I have this. It's not necessary actually. I would just remove this so that they all have the same thing here. And now the HDRI is good because okay, I did not get that Taurus, but doesn't matter. The HDRI actually what it does is that it's wherever it is, it affects our image. So if I'm using the middle mouse and panning around, so it depends on which HDRI you choose, you know, depending on what you chose and where you place it, it will give you an effect, the effect that you might want. So this is what I wanted to show you guys today. I hope this helped you in any way. If this helped you in any way, please give my video a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Bye.